Um, thank you. And thank you, Siobhan, for your tremendous, gracious leadership. I've learned so much from you. And this is what our ECPs are doing, can do, will do now and in the future. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I realize the time and folks are hungry. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of my presidential theme. It's justice and joy, transforming healing praxis in counseling psychology and beyond. So just a little bit, I want to thank Doctors Hector Adames and Nimat Ogunfemi for gifting me this beautiful image to correspond with our initiative, Justice and Joy. It connects with so much of what SCP has been involved in, but particularly our newly explicated core value of healing that we've been building on. We have increased coordinated efforts. With increased coordinated efforts, counseling psychology has a potential to cultivate individual and collective healing on a larger scale. I still feel some kind of way that other people have taken like positive psychology. It was like, we've been doing this for decades. Well, the same as we've been doing healing for decades and decades. And I think that we have so much to offer, larger psychology as well as the broader society on terms of mental health healing. It matters because there's ongoing threats to our civil liberties. We can just think of Supreme Court justice stuff in terms of anti-affirmative action. We can think of what's happening in Florida. Folks want to make it seem like people who were enslaved learned from the experiences and gained something as opposed to it being an exploitive system. There's anti-LGBTQ bills, all of these issues, COVID-related trauma. I believe the country feels as though we've moved beyond COVID in some ways and have never dealt with the ways in which we are the weight of COVID and our mental health, climate issues, other environmental concerns, racial oppression, gender oppression, LGBTQ oppression, all cause stress and impact our mental health. And so we are going to engage in a year-long activities to interrogate ideas of justice and joy and those components of healing with the hope of transforming our long-term praxis for what we do and others do. And I really wanted to get joy in there because many times we think of how heavy our world is and that we only experience oppression, and the weight of our world and oppression completely defines us. And we know that that is not true, that we also experience joy. There is joy as resistance, joy within our culture. So I want to get to that. I won't go too much into this, but there's this fabulous book out that was written by two medical doctors called Inflamed, and they talk about deep medicine and look at social justice within that. And I really like the way they talked about deep medicine. And I'm thinking we can think about deep healing here, where it is the understanding that mental health can no longer be viewed as something that we can try to get as individuals alone. We have to understand that mental health and healing must be attained in the context of communities, our families, where we are in our societies in relationship to the web of life. And so we are going to do some complex stuff this year. We are doing, and instead of doing that throughout the year where things are so diffused, we're going to focus on November, February, and April that'll culminate in a Joy Summit right before APA. November, we're going to tackle questions of what is healing, what are models that address the complexities of individual and collective healing, how can CP further cultivate healing. In February, we'll have a series of activities that look at what are the key issues impacting, what are the key justice issues impacting mental health, what are the links between justice and well-being, both individual and collective, and how can CP further cultivate justice-related healing. And then joy in April, what is joy and how is it related to individual and collective well-being? How can CP cultivate joy in our healing praxis? we are going to do in each of those little buckets. We've got lots of activities that we'll do. We have partnered with 4 universities, Arizona State University, and Aisha Shifty is going to help us out there. University of California, Santa Barbara, Sharon Tetica is going to help us out there, University of Illinois, and then University of Maryland at College Park, and Gioni Lewis will help us out there. So we're going to have public lectures that will be streamed online and with CE credits. Then we'll have a webinar, at least one webinar during that time on a topic related to that. We'll have a virtual book article discussion on that topic for each month. We'll have a series of healing activities that will be inward facing for SCP members. We'll have a podcast, at least one op-ed that we'll have. We have a whole op-ed team. And these will culminate in several activities, a journal special issue, a healing archive. I'm going to co-teach a class with Michelle Fine at CUNY. We're going to do it online. We're going to have a whole archive piece of it. We're going to do a Joy Summit the day before convention. And so Amy thought she was getting out of leadership. She has agreed to lead that up. We'll have advocacy and dissemination. Some of our healing stuff. We'll have Justice and Joy healing certificates, hopefully. And we'll have Joy Circles. We got a lot of stuff planned. Just a little bit, I won't go through this for the time, but this is a timeline. Expect to hear, we're going to do the whole rollout in October, so you can have the whole save the date, and these are the activities that will be happening. What's done? We have tons of folks that have agreed to be partners, but there's also more. I know, like David Bluestein, I was like, oh, hey, David, would you be willing to do an op-ed for us? I know Annalise Singh said she's going to also be doing things for us, but just real, Lydia On is going to head up our discussion groups. We've got Nayeli Chavez Duenas is going to do op-eds. We've got a whole range of folks. Deja Fitzgerald is going to head up the podcast team. There's Melissa Morgan's going to head up our advocacy work that we're going to do. David Stanley and Brianna French are going to head up our healing kind of activities. So we have a lot of folks that are involved in doing incredible work. And Gioni Lewis is going to head up our journal issues that we're going to get out from that. So I also plan to do ongoing work that the SCP is doing, including building on the initiatives of recent presidents, like Dr. Siobhan Moore Loban, dismantling anti-Black racism. I feel as though we're building on the value systems, and of course, the ideas about anti-Black racism will be infused throughout the work that we'll do. We're working on still providing opportunities for Amy to build on the transforming counseling psychology, the curriculum stuff that's coming out from there. Mary, if there's things that you haven't been able to do, we want to incorporate that as we move forward to the issues. And of course, all of what we're doing is standing on this idea of building a counseling psychology of liberation. But we all stand on the shoulders for all of the presidents that have been before us. And I see a number of you all, if you're a past president of the division, please raise your hand at least. All right. Well, thank you so much for the work that you all have been, and it is your shoulders that we stand on. And I look forward to working collaboratively and collectively with you to transform how we think about healing. Thank you.